Many bedrooms around the world are decorated wrong. Let's watch how a modern bedroom should be styled. This bedroom is 3.2 by 3.2 meters. The usual layout has a bed in the middle with bedside tables on both sides, which only offers a single function. I used to hide some personal money under the bed, but when my wife cleaned, she found it. She got completely angry, saying, "How dare you hide a small vault under the bed?" So I decided to remodel the bedroom like this. Firstly, use a false wall in the middle to shape the space, creating tight partitions for sitting and moving. This makes the room more functional. Use galvanized. Let's transform a 1 square meter room into a fully functional house. After working hard for 10 years, little John finally saved enough to buy a coffin room that's less than 2 square meters. It's so tiny that even his pet refuses to live in it. He could only scrounge up a few bricks to build a simple wooden bed. Little John feels sad every night, lying on the bed and crying bitterly. Eventually, he decides to reinstall it like this. Little John removed the original windows and let's design a bedroom for 100 million kids. This couple really wanted kids, but whoops, ended up having a whopping 100 million of them. Even if their whole fam moved to the roof, there wouldn't be enough space. So, Liam whipped out an old hen that lays golden eggs and used them to buy an apartment on the top floor. Then, they decided to spruce up the place. They extended the well. Let's transform a 0 square meter space into a functional house. Little John worked diligently for 10 years, saving $1 million to buy his own house. However, the space he could afford was only 0.01 square meters, so tiny that not even his pet could live there. The only option left was to summon his eagle, but since John has a fear of heights, he found himself crying every night. So he decides to reinstall it like this. First, use Let's design a small bedroom for 2 girls. My wife accidentally had twin girls, but we only have 1 room for them. It's just 10 square meters and can barely fit 1 bed and a cabinet. The girls end up arguing whenever they share a bed. If we place 2 beds side by side, there's no space left for a wardrobe or study table, forcing the kids to do their homework on their bed. The key bay windows are also unused. Why not consider a split-level bed? Little John has been saving money by eating frugally for 10 years. He finally managed to save $500,000 and bought a tiny apartment in Shanghai, less than 1 square meter. It's so small, not even his grandfather's coffin would fit. There's just enough room for a mattress, which he sits on to sleep. Now, let's see how he can turn this into a fully functional house. Firstly, remove the original windows and let's design a small bedroom for 2 girls. This bedroom measures 3 by 3.5 meters and has just 1 bed for 2 girls, making it crowded. The sisters considered a bunk bed, but it felt claustrophobic for the one on the lower bunk and risky for the one climbing up. So they decided to clear everything out and start fresh. Against one wall, they built a bed. Let's transform a 1 square meter room into a fully functional house. Little John worked hard for 10 years and finally saved $500,000 to buy a house for his family of 3, but it's only 1 square meter. It's so small that it doesn't even fit his sword. He could only find a few bricks to build a simple wooden bed where the family of 3 has to sleep like this. Sad and crying every night, Little John decided to remodel it like this. Firstly, build 2 beds. Let's watch how a family of 5 can live in a coffin room. To support Little John's career development, his family of 5 moved to Hong Kong, worked in construction, and saved up $1 million to buy a tiny home less than 4 square meters in size. They can only sleep standing up in such a cramped space. So let's try this setup. Firstly, install a base cabinet against the wall and place a laundry set next to it, allowing clothes to be worn immediately after washing and drying. Next to this, dig a hole for a built-in large single basin, which can be used to easily wash vegetables and place on the induction cooker. Install a toilet opposite the basin to eliminate the need for the family to use public restrooms. Install a wall-mounted shower head so the whole family can bathe at home. Use waterproof and durable wall tiles. Install a pull-out bed against another wall. Add a few cushions to create a temporary sleeping spot. It won't take up space when folded. Install a waterproof curtain to create a private area. Extend the wall cabinet upwards to store daily necessities. Next to it, a pull-out panel serves as a dining table where the 3 children can also do their homework. It saves space when not in use. Above, let's design a 1 square mirror room into a function house. Little John worked hard for 10 years and finally saved enough to buy a coffin room less than 2 square meters in size. So small, it couldn't even fit his grandma's coffin. Forced to sleep curled up every night, he eventually decided to renovate the space. Firstly, remove the original windows and let's transform the 1 square meter room into a function house. Little John saved diligently for 20 years and finally amassed $1 million to buy a house, but it's less than 2 square meters. So small he can't stretch out his legs or feet. It's more like a well than a home. Not even a coffin would fit in this space. Forced to build vertical levels, he curls up and struggles to sleep. Overwhelmed, Little John has decided to completely remodel the space. Firstly, install a wall-mounted seat with a washing machine embedded under the cabinet to handle all his dirty laundry. Place an induction cooker bunker on the countertop to serve as a mini kitchen. Utilize the side gap for a shoe rack, squeezing in his smelly shoes. Fit a range hood above, eliminating worries about smoke from cooking and odors from the shoes. Install a table at the back with a sink built into the countertop, making it convenient for daily tasks like washing vegetables and dishes. Next to it, install a wall-mounted toilet for a unique homecoming experience. Add a shower head, ensuring the space doesn't feel crowded during showers. Install a mirror cabinet to store various bottles and containers efficiently. Construct a bed frame for... Let's design a bedroom with a secret base inside. This bedroom measures 2.6 by 3.5 meters and no longer suits the needs of a teenage boy who finds studying dull and often gets upset for no apparent reason. He frequently complains to his parents about the cramped space. After hearing him out, his dad cleared the room, allowing the son to redesign it himself. Against the wall, my wife accidentally gave birth to 2 girls again. This time we only had 1 kid's room left. I bought a bunk bed, but the lower bunk felt cramped and the upper wasn't safe for climbing. So, we redesigned the bedroom like this. Firstly, we welded Let's transform a 0 square meter room into a function house. After working tirelessly from childhood, little Trump managed to save enough to buy a house that was less than 1 square meter in total, a space so small that even cockroaches refused to inhabit it, and it couldn't fit his grandmother's coffin. Initially, he could only fit a simple wooden bed that required him to curl up to sleep each night. So, he decided to completely redesign like this. Firstly, remove the original windows and welded 2 frames